Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about another really important Senate election currently happening in the state of Alabama against incumbent Democrat, one of the first Democrats in many, many years elected at large in an at-large district in Alabama, Doug Jones, against currently the Republicans still do not have a a nominee, but it is between two candidates now. Former senator from this same seat, Jeff Sessions, and former sports coach Tommy Tuberville. Now, it's really important to actually talk about the primary race between Tuberville and Sessions, because who uh, who wins this primary is going to have a lot of bearing um, on whether or not the Republicans are able to gain back the seat as they're expected to do. Alabama is one of the most conservative states in the union, and this is a prime pickup spot. Now, Jeff Sessions is very popular here. In 2014, he actually ran unopposed in this seat. Um, However, since serving as Donald Trump's attorney general, his public approval has soured, most notably with the president, who endorsed his primary opponent, Tommy Tuberville. Now, both candidates have tried very hard to tie themselves as closely to Donald Trump as possible. However, of course, as I said earlier, only Tommy Tuberville actually got the endorsement of President Trump. Now Tuberville, now Tuberville got the plurality of the vote in the Republican primary, in the first round of the Republican primaries, with 33.39% of the vote compared to 31.64% of the vote for Jeff Sessions. However, this is a state where there will be a runoff for this primary. Now it has been delayed to July 14th, and as you can see, some polling numbers here. This sort of personifies the souring of public opinion about Jeff Sessions, going from once an incredibly popular senator, the first member of the Senate to endorse Donald Trump in the 2016 Republican primaries, to now going anywhere from leading Tuberville by 7% in the party runoff to being down by 23%. Tuberville has held a pretty consistent lead. The last time that a poll showed Sessions up was in February, and odds are it actually is looking like Tommy Tuberville will indeed win this primary, despite Jeff Sessions' name recognition, his establishment as a figure, as a figure in Republican Alabama politics. This comes mainly due to the endorsement of Tuberville by Team Trump, including the president himself, as well as Sean Spicer. Meanwhile, Jeff Sessions has managed to corral a number of members of the Republican orthodoxy, of the congressional delegation that the Republicans have in the Senate, including Richard Shelby, the other senator from Alabama, Jim Inhofe of Oklahoma, and Pat Roberts of Kansas, as well as the NRA, which is another very big Republican PAC. However, as we can see, as far as broad appeal to Alabama voters, Jeff Sessions arguably has more appeal to voters at large. Despite one poll showing Sessions only up by 5% against Doug Jones, compared to 7% for Tommy Tuberville, in another poll conducted with a larger sample size, Jeff Sessions leads by 13% against Doug Jones, compared to 8% for Tommy Tuberville. Now, Doug Jones won the seat in a December 2017 midterm against former Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court, Roy Moore. Doug Jones won this seat mainly due to a scandal that embroiled Moore's campaign towards the end of the election, where Roy Moore was scrutinized over his alleged inappropriate relationships with underage women. And combine that with this being one of the most Republican states in the union, and Doug Jones voting to impeach Donald Trump on both counts, both abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, and this seat looks ripe for the taking. It really is low hanging fruit for the Republican Party. We can see here in one poll by Mason Dixon, Doug Jones is 10 points below. Um, uh, a generic Republican is ahead of Doug Jones by 10%, according to this poll. According to another poll, Doug Jones versus a generic opponent, Doug Jones is down 14%. He's not very popular, and arguably he is likely not going to win the seat. It's part of the reason why I put this as a lean Republican seat. While he has corralled the support of a number of big names including in the Democratic Senate caucus, people like Catherine Cortez Masto, Dick Durbin, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, Chris Murphy, Tammy Baldwin, all those people, as well as Stacey Abrams, and Citizens United, Human Rights Campaign, League of Conservation Voters, and a couple others. Even with that, it's still hard to go against the partisan lean of Alabama. And I want to talk about the partisan lean of Alabama, actually, because I think that it's really important. Alabama is one of the most polarized states in the union as far as partisan leans by congressional district. Hold up, let me just see if I can pull up the map. Going from in Alabama, going from a Democratic lean of plus 20. Here we go. A Democratic lean of plus 20 in Alabama, represented by Terry Sewell in Alabama 7th Congressional District. Congress uh, Representative Sewell has endorsed Doug Jones. It is important to know. Meanwhile, it also encompasses one of the most Republican congressional districts in the union, Republican plus 30, according to the Cook Partisan Voting Index. Hillary Clinton only got 17.3% of the vote in this county, compared to 79.8% of the vote for Donald Trump. Overall, Alabama is a safely Republican state. The last time it went blue in a presidential election was in 1976, in Carter versus Ford. So this begs the question, is there anything really going for Doug Jones? And that is the answer to that question is absolutely yes. According to campaign finance reports uh, uh, from the first quarter in March, Doug Jones has raised $11,678,000, spent $5,547,000, and has $8.2 million left over, compared to Tommy Tuberville, who's raised $2.5 million, spent just above $2 million, has less than $500,000 on hand, and Jeff Sessions, who's raised $1.5 million, spent more than the $3 million, has $749,000 sitting in his campaign bank account. Doug Jones outraises these two by 3 times, even when you add them together. And it may not be enough to buck the trend of Alabama being one of the most solidly Republican states in the union. It does say something for Doug Jones. The Democrat Senate Congressional Campaign Committee has been raising more money than it ever has, partly due to the coattail effect of former Vice President Joe Biden being the Democratic nominee for president, partly due to anger surrounding the Trump administration. President Trump's approval ratings have today reached 39%, and below, partly due to that discontent, particularly among Democratic voters who are motivated, um, to oust Donald Trump and win the Democrats a majority in the Senate. That's part of the reason why Doug Jones has raised so much money, especially in a state where, especially one of the most conservative states in the country. And that's part of the reason that's keeping him, that he is staying competitive, even though every major partisan voting index, Cook Political Report, Sabato's Crystal Ball, Politico, put this as anywhere from lean to likely Republican. It's an expected flip. Um, Doug Jones is still only behind likely Republican nominee Tommy Tuberville by an aggregate of 7.5%, according to the polls that we have available. And that's because of that massive war chest. That is what's keeping Doug Jones in this race. Um, Other than that, the main reason why I put Alabama into the lean Republican column in my Senate prediction was that as the most conservative state in the union, with a relatively popular former senator running, if Tommy Tuberville is able to defeat Jeff Sessions, that will see Tommy Tuberville an increase in fundraising. It will show that his campaign is electable, is able to be someone as powerful and as established as Jeff Sessions, and thereby can defeat an unpopular current Democratic senator in one of the most conservative states in the union. And that's why I do believe that Alabama will be going red in November as far as the Senate election. So thank you guys so much for watching my video today. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. Please make sure to leave a comment, leave a like, tell me what I could be doing better, tell me what you want to hear more about, and I will see you all in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching.